Yes, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence.
Well, today's a good day. I managed to get out of the house and just try and get out for a little half-hour's walk in the beautiful countryside that we live in. Today I just want to raise a little bit of awareness about mental health, and in particular depression and anxiety. I had quite a severe breakdown probably 6 years ago now, and in the following 2 to 3 years I hardly left the house, hardly got in touch with my friends, only really left the house to go to medical appointments and things, and I just want to share a little bit of that journey. I know medication has its place, but it also has its downsides as well. While it may have saved my life, who knows? In the early first couple of years, I was put on drug after drug after drug, and some of them it just put me into a zombie state. Just sat in the house staring at the wall, sometimes couldn't get out of bed, was listening to conversations but couldn't really hear them. Self-hatred, self-pity, loneliness, isolation, I just felt it all. I was one of the lucky ones. I had such a lovely wife and close family, my children, their partners, wife, grandchildren now, and they supported me all the way through this. They certainly believed in me. They believed that I will eventually get better. What I did learn through many counselling sessions, etc., that I received over the years, is for me just to take one day at a time. We're now sort of 5-6 years on, and I still struggle immensely many days of the week. And one thing I have found, which I know is so good for me, and yet on most daily basis I can't do, is just getting out in nature. And also, probably nearly 2.5 years ago now, I found an interest in landscape photography. This has been my therapy. It gets me out when I can, and just immersing myself into the photography world really helps me and takes me away from those dark thoughts, even if it's just for a short period of time. Also, the people I've met through photography, I've met all sorts of people, but I've met some very kind, understandable people who understand or try to understand what I'm going through, and they listen, they talk, and it's surprising how often they have a story themselves to share as well. What I have learnt is nearly everyone has their own issues and things to deal with in life, and the saying "it's good to talk" is so easily thrown about these days, but believe me, it really is good to talk. And over the last sort of 18 months, through meeting people and joining them with my camera and just getting to nice locations, and just relaxing in the peace and quiet of nature. It has just given me the opportunity to share with others and for others to share with me. And we know that we are not in this alone. So if there's anything I can say just to help anyone out there, just try. I know it's hard, but try to be kind to yourself. Try to accept that it is what it is. Try to take one day at a time, even 1 minute at a time when it gets really bad. I've been to the darkest of places and I still go nearly all the way there still now, but thankfully less frequently. And I think I'm learning to cope with the situation when it arises much better now. Why I still struggle to get out of the house on a daily basis, I don't know why. I've still got low self-esteem, lack of confidence. Yeah, just don't even see the neighbours when I'm leaving the house. I find that hard. And it's just some invisible force just keeping me locked in. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not very pleasant at all. Mental health issues are really it's a hidden illness. It's not visible. Although those close to you can really see it. They can see through the person you used to be and the person you become. And it's painful for those around you as well. So always remember that. Like I said, I know where my mind has taken me, and that's even with being surrounded by love of my family. And there's so many people who suffer who haven't got that support network. So in that sense, I'm a very fortunate person. Just touching on the landscape photography now, and how it has helped me. Well, I had a camera back in about 2004, and one day I just set my eyes on it. I think it was in a drawer in the bedroom, and I thought, oh, a bit of photography would be nice again. And in the past never done landscape or anything like that, but I thought, let's give it a go. So on a few little walks out to my wife, I took the camera with me. The sun's a bit bright there, sorry about that. I took the camera with me, and slowly but surely started enjoying it. First of all, I thought, what's all this about? What am I doing out here trying to look for things to take photos of? But I've learned in time just to enjoy being out in nature. The beauty we live in this country is just superb. And I've got to say, you know, this location now is just about 2 miles from my home. So literally five minutes in the car and we're here. I'm just getting out for a walk like I am today. No camera. I've got to say, this is a first for me, getting out for a walk without my camera, on my own. So it's a big tick in the box. And I'm sure I will feel a lot better after it when I get home now. You know, hopefully I've started my day off positively. After a number of outings with my camera, some old friends I knew who are now into photography, and also meeting new friends. And probably the biggest step I took was I joined a group called Landscape Vlogography Adventures. It's a Facebook group run by Paul Compton. He also has a YouTube channel which I've watched probably nearly all of his videos, and that does encourage me to try and get out, encourage me to do better with my photos and my camera skills, and it really has been a big help. And then in, I think it was June 2019, I actually put my name down to go on an LVA Landscape Vlogography Adventures weekend. It was fairly local to me up in the Elan Valley, and I knew there was only about 6 people attending the weekend. So I thought that'll do me the world of good. Get out there, try and meet others, try and get out of my zone where I didn't want to talk to people and things, and maybe by just talking about the cameras and the settings and the landscape in general, hopefully that may improve the way I was dealing with things. Well, anyway, on the Friday evening I arrived at the Elan Valley, met up with the guys, had a short 5-10 minute walk with them up a hill to sort of get to know each other, I suppose, and then we drove to where we were staying for the night. And within 20 minutes I could just feel all the anxiety building up inside me, all the worries, all the thoughts, the self-doubt, and I just knocked on Paul and I told him, sorry Paul, I've got to go home. This is probably now getting on for about 10 o'clock at night. He asked me if it was okay, and I said, yeah, I just need to go home. I'll just drive slowly, stop where I need to, and get home and go to bed. That was one big setback for me, which should have been a big step forward. It actually turned out to be a step backwards. And I'd also arranged before this weekend to join the guys on their weekend at the Ribblehead Viaduct in Yorkshire. But a week before, I knew I couldn't do it. I sent my apologies to Paul. He understood, and just that he understood was a big turning point for me, both for me personally and for me behind the camera. One sec. Then a couple of months later, I remember it now, I'd only met these people for an hour at the most, 30 minutes, an hour, and basically after going on their planned weekend, I sort of escaped from it, and again I cancelled on another planned weekend. But about 2 months later, I had a phone call. Where do you live? This was Paul Compton. He was with his wife Denise. I think they were up in the waterfall country somewhere, and instead of heading back to Cheshire where they live, they actually drove down to southwest Wales, Pembrey, to see me, and that actually meant the world to me. I couldn't believe that anybody would go out of their way so much just to see someone who had actually let them down previously. And that day we did go out. We went out, Paul, Denise, Coralie and myself, and we had a little walk around. Again, I didn't take any photos, Paul did, but I just enjoyed their company so much, and I'm so pleased to say that that was the start of a great friendship. Then just before COVID set in, I think it was end of February 2020, I put my name down to go on another weekend. It was another one local to me, on the 4 waterfall walks in the Brecon Beacons, and I was staying in a bunkhouse. There was about 12 people, I think, staying in the bunkhouse, and I think we were there for 2 nights, going for long walks and taking photos in the day. And that, it was so hard, but done me the world of good. It felt as if it was a step in the right direction. So that weekend went okay, and when I got home, it was a massive relief. I met some other people I hadn't met before on that weekend, and some of them I'm still in touch with now, and some of them have become good friends as well. So that was pre-COVID. COVID then, it did set me back a bit, even though it didn't really change my life so much, because so much of my life was spent stuck in the house anyway. It just seemed so hard at the stage where we were total lockdown. I couldn't go if I wanted to, and that was a difficult time as well, as it was for everyone. But then moving into 2021, and in April this year, I was invited and went on a a landscape photography adventures weekend up in the Elan Valley, and I had my demons from the previous Elan Valley trip, which I'd escaped and gone home, really battling inside my head. And even on the drive up there, it is bringing back these terrible memories of the anxiety I was feeling, and the terror really I was feeling, for no reason at all. Just can't put a finger on it. I can't explain why. But anyway, on this particular trip, April 2021, I was there. I got there. There's a number of people. I'm not going to name names on this in case it does go onto YouTube. But that weekend there was great people there. I think there was 5 of us, and 5 great, lovely men. Within no time, the weather was beautiful as well, but within no time we sat down having a coffee, talking, finding out about people, jobs, history, how many kids they got, the usual stuff, what camera they got. And when you dug a bit deeper, by the end of the weekend, just through natural talking in nature, just hanging about on the side of a mountain, things began to open up. I certainly shared my story with a couple of guys, and to my surprise, a few of the guys started sharing with me, and that made me realise that there really are so many people suffering with some sort of mental health issue, or even not that, something that's really hurting in their lives. You know, it could be the loss of a loved one. It could be anything. It could be the children has gone off the rails or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone suffers something at some time in their life. So like I said, that weekend was a massive turning point for me. It really hit home why I loved getting out to the camera. Yes, I wanted to improve my photography skills and take home some memories, but it was far more than that. It is about far more than the photos, far more. It is about getting out, enjoying nature, and spending time with good people who have thankfully now become good friends. As I continue my journey, I've had quite a few more positive weekends in 2021 with Paul and the gang, and also a couple of guys who I've met through those weekends. I've become good friends, and I've met up with them on a few occasions for other trips. One guy who only lives probably an hour away from me, he's become a bit of a mentor for me. He's got his own troubles and fights through them daily like we all do, but he looks out for other people. He's a really good man. You know who you are. And I want to thank you. Yeah, so hopefully this year now we'll have the strength and determination to get out on more weekends. Getting out of the door is the hardest thing. When I get out, get to a location, set up my camera, usually on a tripod, slow things down. It slows my mind and my thoughts down, and I get really engrossed behind the camera, looking for composition to take, looking for a shot, looking what else is around, and thinking of your camera settings, your focal length, your shutter speed, and all things like that. If you decide to use any filters, etc., all that just takes your mind away from everything else. For that moment in time, you are just focused on what you are doing, and that is such a wonderful feeling and a massive help to anyone suffering with mental health. I don't know, I'm talking about photography, but I honestly believe just getting out for a walk, getting out in nature is the best therapy. I hope I haven't rabbited on a bit too much. This is a spur of the moment thing to do. Hasn't been easy to do, but I do hope it'll resonate with somebody out there and maybe help them on their journey too. With the photos, it's the peacefulness I find in the landscape that draws me to it, and then I try to capture in my photos. At the end of this little video clip, if I do publish it, I will add a few of my landscape photos as well, and hopefully after hearing this you will see in my pictures what a pleasure, a relief, and in some ways a lifesaver landscape photography has been for me. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Like I said, I do hope it resonates with yourself, and I'll just leave this video now with saying, please just be kind, be thoughtful. You don't know what anybody else is going through. If you think somebody's quiet or whatever, just ask them if they're okay, but really ask them. So many people say, you okay? And never mind what you say in the answer, they haven't really heard it. So if you say it, mean it. Ask people if they're okay, look out for them, check in on them, and just be kind. Thank you so much for listening. And just one final little message to Coralie, my wife, Jason, Leah, my sons, Kim, Jason's fiancée, Louise, Liam's wife, and our sensational grandchildren, Sarah, Joshua and Amelia, and we've got another one on the way soon. Without you all, I don't know where I would have been, I don't even know if I would have got through all this. Your love, support, friendship, it's just all meant the world to me. Thank you so much for believing in me, and hopefully one day at a time we will get there. Thank you so much. And an extra special thanks as well to my friends. Two very special friends I must mention, not through the photography world, but Ryan and Gethin. You've been immense, guys. Through my darkest times you were there, week in, week out, coming to visit me, trying to encourage me to come out for a walk, even though that didn't always happen, but you were there. Texts, phone calls, I know I didn't answer them all, but that's the way it goes, but you were there, and I'm truly grateful. You're fantastic friends, and just thank you. My photography friends, I'm not going to start naming you because they're quite a number now, and I've become very close to a few, and a big thank you to you guys too. Your encouragement, you know, even coming, knocking on the door and getting me out of the house. Without you, I'd be out taking far less photos, and without you, I'd have far less genuine good friends. I'm truly blessed to have you guys in my life, and I look forward to meeting up again with you very shortly this year. Take care all. Love to you all. I do share quite a lot of my photos online, and there's a few reasons I do that. One of them is to raise awareness for mental health, because I often share my story or attach some words to a photo that is meaningful to me. I've also known through some local photography groups online, one in particular, Llanelli and Your Wales Photo Share, is an excellent group. There's no judgment, no critique of people's photos. It doesn't matter if you've got a camera, a mobile phone or whatever. It's just about taking a photo when you're out. Just take a photo with whatever camera you've got, and that'll be good enough, and share it. And the other main reason why I share on such groups is it starts building a bit of a community. It starts building awareness that other people are suffering as well. And I realise as I'm walking here today how fortunate I am to be able to be out walking. because I know there's so many people on that group I just mentioned just enjoy seeing other people's photographs, because in some cases they can't get out of the house through illness, whatever it may be. They can't get out of the house, and sometimes the photos just remind them of places they visited previously in their lives. Or it just may just take them somewhere peaceful for just a little short time to break up their day. So yeah, being kind, sharing your images, being kind to others is probably the biggest lesson I've got from today. Be kind, look out for others, and always realise there's somebody who's in far worse a situation than you.